Guess what? If you want to change the world, raise your fucking children right. We have to change our culture from our children.
I agree.
So do that. If we want to erase this gangster or drug mentality or this or that or over-sexualizing things, and you got to start with your children.
That's right.
If you allow your children to watch it and emulate it, it's going to be a vicious cycle that'll continue.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Inside Track. This is my co-host, the infamous...
Infamous is negative.
What?
Infamous is negative.
Infamous is not negative. It's like...
Notorious and infamous are negative.
Really? I thought infamous is great. Well, I can be infamous.
It's okay. It's okay. Keep going.
We're here with editor-in-chief of Double XL, Vanessa Satin, and I am her co-host, Courtney Lowry.
Not infamous.
Not
Courtney
infamous.
Lowry, no,
That's why I said you do in the intro. You do the intro.
No, we're good. We're here with the CEO of the Diop Agency, Amina Diop. Welcome. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Go ahead, Courtney, dive in.
You know, because I can be infamous.
You didn't have a change. Let's go.
Infamous Courtney.
First and foremost, Amina, thank you for your time. We appreciate you coming by.
Thank you for
Melody's out of here.
No, you have a very illustrious career. Tell us how you got into the game.
Tell us. We talked about it all before you got here. We're trying to figure out the Atlanta Gucci affiliation.
Yeah.
So what do we not know?
I am originally from Queens, New York. So I'm a New Yorker.
There's a wake up call already, but with the way she said New Yorker just now,
you hear
was
it?
it?
Okay.
Yeah. I did not know that. I thought you were just an Atlanta lady.
Yeah, but I
This
started in the music industry in Atlanta.
Okay.
So that's kind of...
So you made your way to Atlanta and then started down there.
I went to college in Atlanta.
Okay.
Oh,
So
all pieces just connected a little bit more.
100%.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what year was this that you started in the music industry in Atlanta?
I don't remember
Okay.
what year it was.
It's all one big year,
but
right?
it was many moons ago. So I went to Atlanta and I started in my 20s in the music industry. I'm still in my 20s.
Of course.
Decades later,
Yeah.
because I'm still, officially in my 20s. But so I started, I did an internship at Spear Records. Spear was like a subsidiary of Arista at the time.
So who were
L.A.
some of
Reid
the
was
artists
there.
during the time?
L.A. Reid was there. They had... Everybody was still there.
There is no Atlanta accent at all. It's all New York. She just became a whole queen. Like everything all of a sudden makes total sense.
I think it's like 702.
Oh.
I think Pink was still there.
Okay.
Like all those people were still at Arista.
Okay.
I don't even think everybody was there because it was the L.A. Reid thing.
Yeah.
So all of his people were there, but Spear was Shakespeare. Remember Shakespeare was writing all of that
Yeah.
stuff for everyone? So he had a record label. So I
Gotcha.
did an internship there under the person that was managing the company at the time was Tasha Stafford. So that's where I started in the
Coming
music industry.
from going to school for music or aspirational?
No, I wasn't. I went to school for international business and global marketing.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So I have a business degree. So I had to do an internship, and I was just like, what would be really fun to do? So really, I thought I was just gonna be bullshitting. Like I thought I was gonna go to concerts and all this, but she literally had me in the office like redlining contracts, which was good because I wasn't like cleaning toilets. You get all these horror stories. I wasn't getting cheesecake. But yeah, that's how I started.
So when you saying redlining, was that like a legal internship or?
No, it was just regular, just highlighting like errors in contracts and stuff
Gotcha.
like that, kind of that type of thing, yellow highlighter going over. But and then she also had a management company because she managed Shakespeare.
Okay.
So when I went from that office to that office, you know what I'm saying? So I was at the Arista office, and then I would go to her office and help her with her stuff personally. And I was just like, wow, she was so dope. She used to wear like leather pants and like drove this big body Benz and all of this. And I was like, wait, what's going on? Like, what do you do? And she was like, management, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, I get paid off top and this, that, and tried to explain the game to me. And I was like, yo, maybe that's something I could do. Just was in my mind. But at the time, I was like a party promoter in Buckhead. I was just doing anything. I was like, whatever it was, like, just moving around, when you're young and ambitious. So was I started doing party promotions, which I was terrible at, by the way. I was a terrible party promoter. So I shout out to all the promoters out there. It's a very fucking hard job. And then I got into managing models somehow. So I was in the Vanessa remembers. I was in the video vixen era. So I started doing that. I managed Buffy the Body for years.
All of this is coming together now. Yeah.
I had Hoops, Buffy, Malaya,
So
Rosa
like
Costa,
2000s.
all of that thing. So we were doing like ringtones and calendars. And it was a fun time. It was the best time. That was my favorite time in hip hop. Period. Eye Candy and King, and you know what I'm saying? Black Men's Magazine,
all of that.
all of that stuff. So I was the only female manager in that game too, because all the girls were usually managed by like photographers or just men, you know, period.
I'm like mind blown. I didn't even know this side of you yet. I love it.
So that's what I did. So I think that's where probably all of those, like I have roots in hip hop, but it initially came from that because those girls were moving around like literal celebrities.
100%, yeah.
They different time, yeah.
So I started like the first writer for a model.
Right, that's when they didn't have Instagram to promote themselves.
Correct.
So they
all we had was
else.
MySpace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where was the transition? Where did the music artists come into play, and how?
So I was on video sets quite often, and at party hostings and stuff like that. Because I mean, if you remember those times, like Buffy would get booked. I mean, we went all around the world. First off, Rosa, we went all around the world. We were in Istanbul and here and there because they were literal celebrities at the time. So a lot of times it would be like Buffy the Body and Drake is hosting something, or well, Drake was after, but whoever was out, you know what I'm saying, like 50 and this and that, you know, because Buffy got her break in the So Seductive video, you know what I'm saying, with Yayo. So even though I already knew Yayo because we went to high school together, like, so it was a whole thing. But yeah, so it kind of just it was a natural progression. So once Instagram and all of these terrible sites, no offense, Instagram, but once those came on, everybody became a model.
Yeah.
Everybody's profile was like, I'm a model. So it lessened the brand. And so a lot of the girls moved on to doing other things, becoming entrepreneurs, having brands and doing other things. So it was kind of a natural progression.
There was a time period who was in that music video, and then we would wait to see who the star of the music video was, and who had to be the eye candy of who everyone was talking about for right then.
Right. So it was like, you know, Gloria Velez and Melissa Ford and Buffy and Esther and all kind of things, right? So through that, it's kind of like I met Gucci through like just working in that space and all of that, and then from Gucci came Thug, and you know, he had the Migos, and I met Dolph and Pee Wee and everybody.
Gotcha.
And so it started from there.
And from the management side, still?
From the management side.
Management side, when you started working with music artists. So when you started.
Yeah.
Gucci.
When I worked with Gucci, I was his assistant. Like, kind of he had just come home from jail, and he just needed someone to, like, you know, handle some things for him and things like that. And he was in a transition phase. And I was like, yeah, no, sure. You know what I'm saying? I asked him, I was like, yo, whatever you need, you know, and he gave me a shot.
He always spoke so highly of you. And then I remember the Thug situation coming on, and everybody's you were like the gatekeeper of Thug, and and we were like, how do we penetrate Amina, you know, to find out stuff, you know, and get through to Thug, and Gucci would always redirect over to you for things, and then we all knew that there was this wall in front of Thug that was named Amina.
Right. Yeah, it was definitely his gatekeeper. Always will be his gatekeeper, so yeah.
You guys keep in touch?
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. He's my brother. Like, I built the thing about Atlanta is, like, we are definitely a family over there. So family has good and bad times, but trust is, like, key.
Absolutely.
You know, and in that kind of space, as far as dealing with their business, like, Gucci's team is very, very small. Yeah. You know, Thug's team was very, very small. So we kind of kept it that way.
Yeah.
So when did you get to a label?
So it's such a funny thing because I never wanted to work for a label, but I think I was talking to Coach Coach K, and I was just like, yo, they're asking me to do this thing with this label and this and that. I wasn't really interested in doing it. And I think it was Naeem. Naeem is at Universal. He's in the center, and he was like, we met, and he was like, Amina, no, you know what I'm saying? You have a great thing, and I'm telling you, it's exactly what you do, but you could just come do it here and just try it. And I had a head coach, and I was like, should I do this? And he was like, yo, you already know how to do the job. Just go and see it, because you need the experience to see inside of the building. Because as management, we work with our artists, and it's like we're always against the label, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Not, because I want to put out an album on Friday, and the label's like, yo, we need lead time, this amount of time, we need a couple months, blah, blah, blah. So you're always pushing for what your artist wants. So it was great. I thought it would be a good experience to see from the other side, why they're saying this or why this is. It was just I think, a learning experience for me that I really needed.
We just did a situation, and we worked with an artist that it was difficult to get what we needed, and I watched the manager in this very difficult position of having to deliver the message or deliver, what the artist wasn't going to do based on a commitment, da-da-da-da-da. How do you play the role when you are, one, the messenger, two, maybe you don't always agree with or believe what your artist is trying to do, but you still represent them?
You mean, how do I communicate it to them?
How do you communicate it, and how do you play the role, and how do you deal with your artists when you don't agree with the move that they're making, and you think maybe it would be bad for business or bad for them as a whole, and they're going through maybe an emotional moment with, this is how I feel, this is what I want to do, this is what I don't, and you don't agree with that move? Is it always the artist wins, or how do you find yourself being able to guide them to a place where it's better for all of you?
Courtney. So, I have notoriously worked with very strong-willed artists. So, I try to be communicative and be like, okay, boom, if we do this, this, and that can happen, and blah, blah, blah. Most of the time, they be like, I don't care. We gonna do it, and this, that, and the third. But there's been, if it's something like, I've had funny times with Thug, and he's like, yo, I'm gonna put, and I'm like, you're not fucking putting that shit on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So there's hard lines where if I have to you know what I'm saying, fall on my sword, I will. But generally, they're super creative. Unless they're trying to do something that's literally detrimental, to the brand, then most of the time, I'll go with it, because I really have no choice. At the end of the day, they're the boss, and it's their brand. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you want it so bad for them sometimes, and sometimes it's hard to explain to them, the detriment that they may be causing themselves down the line. But sometimes you have to let people hit their head.
I was just about to say, and so sometimes when you have to kind of take a step back, let them fall, let them bump their head, what is the conversation like afterwards?
I told you so?
It depends on the artist.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it can't be I told you so, because we're in it together.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's fuck, now here go to cleanup. So sometimes if
That's
I know,
what I'm getting at, the
sometimes
cleanup.
if I know that it's gonna go bad, I'm already preparing to clean up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, boom, what does this person likes? Orchids. All right, cool, I'm gonna have to send that. I'm gonna send the bottle. You know what I'm saying? So it's already teed up. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, it's a job. Like how you said, Vanessa, I'm generally the gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Well, with my boys, they're not boys, they're grown-ass men, sorry. With my men, I'm very...
Boys sounded better with my men, though.
Right, so, okay.
We know what you're saying.
So with my male artists, I'm
there you
super
go.
protective, right? Because this is a nasty game out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I try to protect them as much as possible. But I can only do so much, you know what I mean? But it's always what's in their best interest. And the nature of Black households, men generally are used to their moms protecting them, or their women in their lives, or coming from strong parents. You know what I'm saying? So it flows very well for me working with men.
And that's what I was going to say. How is it sometimes being the only woman, female, in the room with predominantly all men and guiding them and
in
advising?
charge,
Yeah.
I mean, it's super comfortable,
Yeah.
for me. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Because I have a very, I have two different sides. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very comfortable around men and women, but I I am comfortable around men. You know, I grew up in South Jamaica, Queens. You know what I mean? And
No, I did not know that.
and then I moved to Atlanta and was around, you know, like people. You know what I'm saying? So, and my mom is Jamaican, my father's West African, so I have no, like, I'm not soft.
Yeah.
You know, growing up in the Caribbean household or African household, they say what they mean. So it's like I have a very strong shell.
Yeah.
So it's fine. You know what I mean? It's fine being the only. The boys think I'm a boy. Actually, they literally think I'm a boy. So.
But it's interesting because you went from dealing with all of these very female characters and then going into very more masculine, you know, street artists that you're representing. Did you never dip into the female artist space or want to, or feel like you'd have the experience there from the women?
I did. Gucci has signed some female artists, and Thug has signed some female artists. And then I worked with a female artist not too long ago, and they're different. You know what I'm saying? It's an experience. I think it's nice because you get like that sisterhood kind of thing, and then it's challenging because women are more assertive than men, and are, you know, oftentimes more opinionated, and there's more facets to dealing with women, like stylists
Agreed.
and this and
Right,
that, and
right.
makeup and blah, blah,
Just
blah.
the team itself, yes, larger.
And when men disagree, with boys, when you disagree with a man, me being a woman, the disagreement goes different. With a female and me being so alpha, it's very difficult. You know, it was a challenge, and I liked it, but it was not, you know, for me
Long term.
per se. Yeah.
Yeah. And bring it back to Thug, we've mentioned him a few times. How have you felt the support's been for him from the industry with everything that's been going on? I mean, this is a trial that just keeps going and going and going. And I don't want to press you on any of the legal stuff, but with overall, one, his spirits, and two, how the industry has supported him during all of this.
I think they've been amazing. Like, all his peers have been amazing. Everyone's been really supportive. The trial is like straight off an episode of the Boondocks. You know what I'm saying? So it's been like, what is happening?
It's the wildest.
You know what I'm saying?
is,
So,
it is.
You know, it's that. Thug is amazing, and he is a survivor, and he's, you know what I'm saying? He's always going to stand strong and come out on top. So I have nothing but positive, you know,
When you started,
outlook.
working with artists, and you know, started your agency, did you foresee these things happening that you would actually have to encounter? Because from what you were saying, when you first saw, when you had the internship, I didn't hear any of these stories that she was going through. You
No,
know?
but because I mean, she managed producers and stuff like that. She didn't manage artists, so I think managing producers is probably different. Especially then.
Yeah.
Now, managing a producer probably is
It's
a
like
lot
an
more
artist.
like
Correct.
managing an artist, because the producers are like mega producers, like
Correct.
Metro and all of them, who is amazing. You know what I mean? So no, I didn't foresee it, but I didn't even really foresee actually doing this as a career. You know what I mean? I didn't know. I thought it was really cool, but like, I think a lot of shit is cool. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be an anesthesiologist, you know, at one point. So I didn't think that I would actually do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
It's
I guess
interesting
it was
what
a
you fall
calling.
into.
Yeah. I guess it was a calling.
All right, so you end up at the label, you take that gig, you decide to dip into that space. Was that Republic to start, or?
Yeah. I was only
to
at,
start? You were
I've only been at Republic.
Okay, that's all I remember you with. Gotcha.
And Republic was fire. Like, the people there, I love Monty and Avery. I still talk to them. Everyone there, I still talk to. It's definitely, Republic is like a family.
When you hear
1000%.
people who go through the Republic system, you always hear people rave about it and,
Yeah.
and be a family
Wendy,
situation.
everybody, Dana, I love Dana Sano. I have nothing bad to say about it. I think it was just an experience. It was something that I got out of it what I set to get out of it, which is like, now I know everything about the inner workings of a label, especially being in senior management. So I thought it was an amazing experience.
So is now your approach to your clients, approach to their projects, is it different?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just more educated.
Got you.
So I am able to say, like, okay, if there's an impulsive decision that we're gonna make, or this and that, I'm like, yo, we not, you know, if we do this street date, we're not gonna get these looks on the DSPs, or, you know, we're not gonna be able to do this and that, or, this is coming, the date is this, to do that, you know what I mean? So like, I think I'm a lot more educated on the actual process on the back end.
How many years was it at Republic?
I was there probably like 7 years.
Chunk of time, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
like it was a minute.
And so
but
you
I
left-
still had my company at the same time, so I was like dual.
So tell us about the company now. Who is the Diop Agency representing? What's the daily for you?
I still work with Gucci. I have Band Hunter Izzy. I have Sleazy World Go. I have this new kid, Until Japan, who's amazing. I'm super excited about him. I have an artist from Ghana named Blackway. He did the Spider-Man soundtrack. He had that big song, What's Up Danger. But he's amazing in the sync space. He writes for all kind of things. What am I missing? I'm missing.
I know you as Pee Wee Longway also.
Of course, I have Pee Wee. I could never forget him. So yeah, no, I have a lot of things going on still.
What's the? We don't see a lot of females in the industry as managers. There definitely are some, but not as many. Why do you think?
Good question.
I don't know that that's something that it's not a general space like that. There are women that manage women. There are a lot of women that manage women, but I don't know if like generally in hip hop that's a thing. I mean, there's the powerhouses like Mona's always there, Desiree Perez. Like they're those women but they're still come from the old school generation. I don't know that new school women. There are a few though that I know of. But I think that women are moving into different spaces in the industry. You know what I mean? There are more women engineers. There are more people getting into sound and, you know what I'm saying? Other aspects. There are a bunch of women entertainment attorneys.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's just the space. Management is like the hardest job. You know what I mean?
Why?
Because there's a lot of heavy lifting and everything's your fault when it goes wrong, but it is all of their idea when it goes right. You know what I'm saying? And you're first on the chopping block.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's not a lot of like job security there. So it really is about relationships and your relationship with the artist that you're working with. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like stuck on what you
I mean,
what you
it's
said.
just a
Yeah,
fact. Like,
it is
we
a
know
fact.
that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
artists don't like to admit it, but, I mean, it is the truth. And there's nothing, there's nothing wrong with that being a fact, but it is definitely a fact.
So a lot of people say, and, we operate as a family and, we do this as a team, but is there real loyalty?
There's not a lot of loyalty in the entertainment industry, period. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's just not one of those things. It's like, people are very self-involved. You know what I mean? Like, they have to do what's best for them, And I think that goes across the board.
Yeah.
I think so.
But I would say, from an outsider looking in, it seems like your history and relationship with Gucci is built off of loyalty.
Yeah.
It is.
That one in
But I
particular,
mean,
right?
even with Thug, like, it's the same thing. Like, but that was a different time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think today's artists, a lot of artists today, it's like there's so many moving pieces. Like,
Yeah.
they're not even loyal to a site, like their favorite site, their favorite artist. Because now, the way people consume music is different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have children, and my children will know a song, but they have no allegiance to the artist. They just have an allegiance to the song. Because, like, with TikTok, they don't know who the hell the person is.
Yeah.
They just are allegiant to the trend.
Yeah.
So, I think that's just the makeup of today's young people. You know what I'm saying? Like, how the fuck could I forget this? I'm so sorry. Oh, and I have Uzi. What the fuck? That was stupid. I can't even believe that. I'm sorry, guys. But like, so Uzi has
You just
hardcore.
dropped that in there.
I'm sorry. So Uzi has hardcore fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's one of the people. There's just a few superstars because
Yeah.
he is a rock star.
100%.
There's a few people that have mega fans,
Yeah.
and he's one of those. You have the Beehive. You have Rihanna's Army and Navy. You have like like Gaga had her monsters. You have the Swifties. You have Barty Gang. Like, you know, like, and I don't even know if Uzi's people have names, but they're just like diehard fans. You know, some people have them. I think it's hard to build a fan base now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really, really hard. I think you have to like actually get out in the streets. But like, remember when we were coming up, people were passing out CDs.
That's
it was like
right.
a hand-to-hand type situation. You know, people would go to open mics and like showcase their talent. There's not like enough of that
there
anymore.
was a club scene, or there was like if you went to an event, you all recognized each other who was there. And
Exactly.
It was the same kind of group of people, and there was a community.
Yeah.
And you know, in Atlanta, which is cool about Atlanta is that we have a very strong studio culture and of course a strip club culture. So, you know, in Atlanta you can still break in the strip club or you can break, you know what I'm saying? Like the studio, you come to a studio or you go down to Patchwork, you might bump into something, an artist, there's like camaraderie there.
Yeah.
So that's the difference, you know.
That's not in New York so
I don't
much.
think that
No.
New York has a studio culture like Atlanta.
Right.
Like Atlanta, like their work ethic is so crazy. Like they are in the studio. You can catch them in the studio. They're in the studio. So artists, there's so much, you know, synergy there. Like you could just pull up and Future's in the studio. Okay, Future's in the studio. Well, I'm gonna pull up and this and that and a third, and here's a hits made. You know what I mean? So I think that is, you know, something that Atlanta is amazing at.
When you look at what's going on in hip hop right now, what are your thoughts overall on the state of things?
Hip hop has morphed into something like, because like, what is hip hop at this point?
I'm hoping you answer.
I mean, it's like it's segmented now, right? Because like, what would you tell me, Courtney? Who's your favorite hip hop artist?
New?
Can't say DJ Khaled.
New? Or just...
Give me a new and an old.
I don't want to say old. That represent Jay-Z. You can say Jay. And new. Kendrick is not new. I'd probably say in that there within the last 10 years, I can't say anybody new, but as far as new, I would probably like a Travis, and that's not new. That's 10 plus years.
Right,
So,
and there's a...
And that's like a real huge rock star and rap star. Yeah,
And
that's
Travis.
my
That's
last
an ongoing
one.
conversation we have is that we stop
Yeah.
making stars.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's another person who has a great following too, by the way. Travis is amazing, but do you see in that time frame from Jay to Trav, like how different that is?
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like hip hop. It's hard for me to comment on hip hop as a whole because, like, what is it exactly? Because now is Yeet hip hop? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is like Destroy Lonely hip hop?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, Uzi actually raps, so I'm not gonna say is he. But you get what I'm saying? Like there's the genre. So is emo still hip hop? You know what I mean? And or there's so many segments. So yeah, I think it is. But it's like it has evolved into its own like monster. So like hip hop is like, to me now, is just a culture.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a music anymore.
Staying on the topic of the state of hip hop, we've seen a lot of changes in the labels and all of that. What are your feelings and what are your thoughts on those changes?
Like the changing of the guards.
The shrinking and the changing of the guards.
The shrinking of it.
Laying people
Laying
off.
people
and the
off.
team's getting smaller, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is kind of similar, like before we started, how I was saying, like how like the video vixen thing, it kind of like went away, but it was because of technology. You know what I'm saying? Or like the magazines, how the culture has changed, right? Because of technology. Because like why? Because you can see everything. Everything is so like in your face.
Right.
There's so many things going on. There's so many disruptors in the music space, right? Look how many ways that you can put out music and distribute your music, and you can just go D2C, like direct to consumer so easily now if you're an artist or any other sort of creative. So I think that it's something that just is gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I go to Bank of America, there's like 2 people working there. That's just changed because technology is so advanced that I can go to an AI teller.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I can do everything on my phone. I can deposit checks, I can take a picture, I can do all these things. So it's like, I think it's like a natural progression of where the world is going. Like it has to be more cost effective. Like things are gonna happen. It's unfortunate 1,000% because people have given their life to these buildings. You know what I'm saying? They're leaving their soul in those buildings. So it is unfortunate, but as technology advances, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, like not just in the music space, but like in every space, you know, things are gonna change.
What about the politics of things? I mean, we wouldn't get away with eye candy today. That would be inappropriate to do, like was done back in the day. You know, it's something that you had to move away from kind of covering. You know, does that kind of, the way things change, the way, you know, words you can't say anymore, things you can't do, affect hip-hop in any way? Or
I'm not a fan of cancel culture. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a fan of that. Like, but I grew up in a different time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not a fan. I think that the world is like overly sensitive and desensitized at the same time, which is stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like so weird because like you don't want to see a Jet Beauty of the Week or Eye Candy or Black Men's Magazine, but you want to see someone on your phone with half their head blown off.
Right.
Like, wait, what? Like,
you're gonna
that's
put
not
on
inappropriate?
I got you.
Or like, you want to take a picture of your favorite artist after they're in the morgue, that's leaked, and that's fine. So that's appropriate, but this is not. Like, talking about people's children and like inappropriately online.
Lip gloss gonorrhea. You know?
Right. You know, whatever. So it's like, we're overly sensitive and then desensitized
at the same time.
At the same damn time. So that's why I'm like, So I never really commented on like Me Too movement or this or that or these things because like, I mean, if I spoke freely, then I'd be the first one on cancel. I'll be the cover of Cancel Culture magazine. I would be the cover, the poster child of cancel culture.
That means it's interesting. This interview gets interesting when the mics go off. Like, it takes a whole different place.
Like, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just not that. I'm not.
But does that affect lyrics and what artists can say and do? Has that affected people in who they are? I mean, literally, they have to apologize for lyrics, or they can't say certain things or do certain things.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely are doing that. You know what I'm saying? I know we all know artists that have had a real rough time based on, you know, something that they've said. And opinions are like assholes. Everyone got one. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has them. So it's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Putting your question for Courtney back on you, who's your favorite old and new, or who do you like or love old and new?
I like my artists.
You can't say your artist outside of your
outside of my artist. My favorite new artist, I'm not sure. I like FKA. Twigs. I like the aesthetic of her. You know what I'm saying? I like Doechii. I like the aesthetic of it. I'm gonna say females because I'm pro female. But I like all the new artists. Honestly, I like everything.
Those are two very artistic artists.
Yeah, because I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
you know
very
what I mean?
artistic.
Classic. Throw on classic. You love it in the car. You want your kids to hear it and know it. What do you love?
Classics?
Yeah.
I listen to a
classic
lot.
Artists, who do you love that?
I listen to a lot of reggae music. You know what I'm saying? So I love all of the new artists that are coming out of Jamaica and the Caribbean.
There is a real big growing movement there too, right? And a very big gossip community.
I love that. In my car, I listen to a lot of African music, a lot of African artists. Classic albums for me would be Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Fire.
It would be Sade, Love Deluxe.
Fire.
It would be, it would be that kind of stuff. Of course, Volume 2 with Jay. I love Jay. Nas,
Fire.
It Was Written is my thing. Like, that kind of stuff. Like, I'm there. I still listen to Tupac. I still listen to Biggie. You know what I'm saying? Like, can recite hardcore from beginning to end. You know what I'm saying? Same with Fox. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm a hip hop fan.
Any artists that you haven't been able to have a chance to work with that you would love to have crossed paths with?
Prince. Ooh. I'm obsessed with Prince. But I couldn't have met him because I probably passed out. Smooth pass out. I probably would have passed out, but that was, and Tupac was probably like my two biggest.
I feel like
regrets.
you have, the Prince of our time.
I do.
You know?
I do.
Just Uzi.
And funny enough, when we
I
did.
thought you were going to say Thug.
When we did.
I'm thinking
You're thinking
Uzi,
Uzi, I'm thinking Thug.
Well, she has them both.
Yeah, it's like Michael Jackson and Michael Jackson and Prince.
Yeah,
I'll give them that.
Uh-huh.
But Thug, funny enough, like one of his tours that we did, we had the whole, that sign, the artist formerly known as sign, was his mic stand, and he had like a whole Prince moment, and we had like Michael Jackson on one side of the stage and Prince on the other side, because they get some influence from them,
100%.
but the whole world does, you know what I'm saying? Because they were like mega stars. So, Whitney Houston, definitely.
Another good one. What do you look for, or what type of artists do you say, yes, I will work with, or are you attracted to?
I've never actually gone after an artist, like to go look for them, and that they generally somehow cross my path. And now, my older self, I like moonlight with artists a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like now I got to vibe with you. I have to and it's like me a 3-4 month process because like
they're wooing you.
It's more like, let's get to know each other and see if that vibe, because you know personally, Courtney, I've jumped into some things head first and it wasn't right. It wasn't a good fit, you know, when I did that. And that's something like, you know how like when you're at a label and you're an A&R at a label, it's like everybody's trying to get the next hot thing, and like that's not a way to enter a relationship for management. Right. You know what I mean? It's not advantageous to the artist nor myself. So now I like take my time. Like I know you, like I play, like me in Japan, it's so funny because me in Japan, like we'll do like riddles. I'll do like riddles with him and I'm like, so this, like just any like little fun thing, you know what I mean? And like really get to know each other and like come to my son's basketball game. Let me, come to the studio. Let's go out and eat pizza. Let's do these things and let's see if like we can, because management is a relationship. It's like a marriage. Like it's a real thing.
Yes.
Court, you've been with Khaled however long. It's like if you don't have like a foundation, it's just like a relationship. If you don't have a strong foundation, it's just not gonna work. It's not gonna work because when you have an artist, like there is so much temptation out there because there's always a bigger manager or there's always like something else or a big massive company and all of these things. I'm lucky enough to like have like a great relationship with like Rock Nation and these things and learn so much from Dez and like different things like that, or have like a great person to learn from like Marsha St. Hubert over at Atlantic and things like that. So I've been blessed to have like strong women around me that I can look and see and be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like they're amazing. But for an artist, like think about it. You're 18 years old or I don't care if you're 28 years old, right? You come into the game and then you see these things because there are a bunch of things to see. It is very appealing and you don't know like left and right, especially honestly, and I don't want to make it a race thing, but generally like growing up, like even growing up from where I came from or spending so much time in Atlanta, when somebody comes and it seems like it's the great white hope
100%. Coming
to save you, like he might be having you sign the most shittiest deal and contract, but that's like the idealistic, and I'm just being honest, and people I'm like, oh, that's not true, but it is true. Like when urban kids, like kids that come from where I come from, when you come and see like a white man come and bring you something, you're like, damn, like this is gonna be the truth. This like now I made it and blah blah blah. But then there's like you go sign with a white man before you come sign with P. You know what I'm saying? And Coach, where they might be giving you the keys to like financial freedom and will help you with financial literacy, and this person might be having you in a cage. And I'm not making it that's true because there's some great white people that come along and blah blah blah. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying it's the idealistic of it all. The ideals of it all. So it's
We see it in media a bit, in the GQ comes along or the whatever, and you will do whatever you can to do little for Vogue, whatever it is, every little thing that you can do there on kind of a mainstream level. And then with the hip hop press, and it's not exactly the same race wise, but just having it looked at differently when something bigger and more mainstream comes along, and I guess whiter, and that kind of thing. And I know it's not the exact same comparison whatsoever, but just seeing is that there can be more opportunities over here rather than over there, and this be tempting in a different way.
Yeah, I
and
think
then
it's
did that happen and they come back to you and made a mistake?
Yeah, people always come back.
And are you receptive?
No. Because it's like, I don't, at one point in time, like, I'm an Aries, so also by nature, like, I am very...
The bridges burn, the bridges burn.
No. I'm super forgiving. Like,
Okay.
I can forgive you for anything, right? So I'll forgive you, but I'm not going to
go down that path
do the same
again.
thing twice.
Yeah.
That's literally the definition of insanity. To repeat the same thing over and over and expect a different outcome. Like, it's not like a duck is a duck, regardless. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, of course, I will always forgive you and blah, blah, blah. And I'll even help you or work with you in different regards, but it will never be the same exact kind of,
I'm not investing the same amount of time and energy.
Piece of advice for aspiring managers.
Just work hard. Get your paperwork signed. Never stop learning and innovating. Just learn. Like if AI is coming, okay, boom, what can you do with AI to make your job easier, to help your clients, to do those things, you know what I'm saying?
How would you involve AI in management?
Oh, so many different things. You got ChatGPT, you have all of these different things. Like you can build so many things out. Like you can aggregate all the information on a particular artist or a particular client all in one place. You can build decks, you can do all of these things, and it'll actually do it for you.
Interesting.
So thousands of things, yeah.
I would never make the connection between a manager and manager embracing AI a certain way.
Yeah, well, guess what I do?
It's inevitable. AI is here, and it's coming even more.
I sat next to this guy on the plane, and he worked in AI. And he asked me what I did. I asked him what he did, and he sat there and aggregated a whole deck in 2.2 seconds through an AI database.
Wow.
Did you keep his business card?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I had a whole meeting with him and all this, and this is why he showed me all of these ways to add AI to my business. It's just even being more business effective. You know
But
what
I think
mean?
it's interesting in order to say that I would never, you randomly spoke to somebody on a plane, create a relationship that you learn from in that sense. It's also just being receptive, right?
Right.
And being open and getting to know different types of people and being creative in what your approach is.
I'm super open to the universe as a whole. And I don't close doors. You know what I'm saying? I'm really receptive to things, like people that I meet, like even if one thing doesn't work, like I don't burn bridges. Like generally it's just not the type of person I am. You know what I'm saying? I feel like everyone has a journey and people's paths cross for a reason.
Absolutely.
Always.
Absolutely.
So I just never take an opportunity for granted.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that people do too often.
One of our favorite questions is, we have a few of them, but what's something that you've been around for, you've been in the room for, or a part of a project that's been special and you looking back can't believe you were part of it or there for it?
Like a moment in history.
There's been so many.
So many. I know. That's everyone.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
I've been so many. I remember the day the Migos came to the studio when Gooch first met them. I remember.
Did you know that day, did you get the feeling or know that they were going to be as big as they are?
No. I mean, who could have known that?
Some people.
Besides Gucci.
But some people feel that, though.
Listen to me.
That's what I want to ask
He
you
is
about,
the
yeah.
most amazing, top, if not the most amazing person that I've ever met.
Person, not even...
Person.
Okay.
then definitely top. He's on this one hand. Like, he has to, like, he is like clairvoyant. Like, I don't know how he sees these things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the first time I ever seen Future was with Gucci. First time I ever seen Rich Homie Quan was with Gucci. First time I ever seen Thug was with Gucci. First thing I ever seen Young Fresh was with Gucci. First time I ever seen Amigos. First time I ever seen Dolph. First time I ever met Waka. First time,
everything came under him. And then I remember when he was in jail talking about people and moving them away from him when he was in jail so that they wouldn't be held back underneath him when he couldn't do stuff.
Yeah.
So giving up people, I think it was Rich Homie Quan, or giving people up and passing them off, I don't remember exactly, so that they'd have opportunities, even though he'd heard them first and discovered them first or whatever, he would not want to hold them back and pass them off to whoever could do something to him until he could.
And so he just has an amazing ear and like a knack for talent. So like those things were amazing. Like just meeting all of those people and seeing them. Then I remember Future, we were at Patchwork and Gucci was just like, yo, these people, like, this is it. This is the new wave and blah, blah, blah. And like to speak it into fruition. And then Future now is like the biggest like person, and he's just an amazing artist. And it's like Gucci like saw all of those things, you know what I'm saying, like from the beginning. So like just seeing Future, like when he used to wear the bandana and all of this stuff and become like a fashion icon now and these things, like all of those people. So like I remember he's back there.
It must do your heart good to see where Gucci's at now, with family, with kids, with all the up and downs that he's been through that we've watched publicly, to see him on the other side of everything every day and the person he's become.
He's had an amazing transition in life, but that's just a testament to like what's cool, you know what I'm saying? Like growing old is cool. You know, people are like, oh, old people shouldn't like, people like hip hop is about progression. Like, aren't you proud of 50?
There you
aren't
go.
You proud of Gucci? Aren't you proud? Like,
there
what y'all want to do? Y'all want a nigga to burn out and like, you know, trick himself off the streets and stay that way? Aren't you happy to see people
but that's
grow and get married
stuff.
and have children and be happy and rich and like, you know, healthy
and enjoy life?
And enjoy, like, it's like, that's what I'm telling you. Like, like people, it's like, what do you want? Like, you want us to like burn us? You want everybody to just go out sad?
But
you know what I mean?
Diddy
Like
stuff
in hip hop
now, you feel like everybody's waiting for who's gonna fall, right?
Yeah, but that's
conversation after conversation of all these people. Like they want people to fall. They want us to lose, you know, celebrity stars, industry people within all of it, rather than the thrive.
We have to do better as a community and like want what's best for people. You know what I mean? Like as a community, we can't want to see our people fall.
That's
and
right.
all of our leaders, like all of our superstars. Like we don't want to do that. Like I want my kids to watch the Cosby Show. You know what I'm saying? Like I would like, or something like it. Like I would have loved that. Like some of these people, like regardless of what has come out now, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't take away what they did for us as children, or as like Claire Huxtable was a lot of people's moms, or their like
in their head,
like or their picture of what a mother should be, or this and that and the third, and you were going through things with Theo, and you know what I'm saying, things like that. So like what certain things or people mean to the culture, like
to eliminate the show and everything that represents.
It's still like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, but I have hope for
there we go.
us as a culture, and you know, for us to be more human. And for us not to like hope that things are what they may have been said to be. You know what I mean? Like when you read comments or when I look on the internet, it's like the negativity just across the board is like sometimes stifling, where you just gotta put your phone down. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, damn, I ain't got nothing positive to say. Like you owe, like just like how things are growing up, like what we glorify, you know, ignorance and stuff like that. It's like, it's crazy.
Is that a topic that you have in a conversation that you have with your artists about their music and content that they're putting out, and you know, image that they're putting out?
Or not to be overwhelmed by the negative response from people.
I definitely tell them to ignore the negative comments and those type of things often. You know what I'm saying? Like those people you are going back and forth with somebody who probably sitting in a fucking 1-bedroom shack. You know what I'm saying? They got a ring around their toilet. Like, and you arguing with this person. Like, you're arguing with someone who don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw. Like, you don't
Ring
even
around
know
their
who you're
toilet,
arguing
yeah.
with. You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're in a 10,000 square foot penthouse that, you know what I'm saying? And this, that, and the third, and you're arguing, like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, you've been blessed. That's your road. And their road is to be negative on their side of their phone. Let them have it.
Did people want to see Drake fall?
People want to see anybody fall who's successful.
Yeah.
It's just like everybody loves a fall from grace story because it makes them feel better about their inadequacies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody. I don't want to see nobody fall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what's better than one millionaire?
Yeah.
2. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't want to see anybody fall from grace. Like, that's not. I don't enjoy, like, take pleasure in other people's pain.
Yeah.
It's just like, but that's the world we're in.
I know.
I love to sit down and talk to people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys for having me. Vanessa's always a pleasure. Court, you know.
Love is love.
Always a pleasure with you. But yeah, I just want people to, like, be more positive, spread love.
Yeah.
And fucking, guess what? If you want to change the world, raise your fucking children right. Monitor the things that they're watching and listening to and things like that. You can't allow the outside world to raise your children. It's not gonna. You have to change we have to change our culture from our children.
I agree.
So do that. If we want to erase this gangster or drug mentality or this or that or over-sexualizing things, and you got to start with your children.
That's right.
If you allow your children to watch it and emulate it, it's going to be a vicious cycle that'll continue.
Thank you. I think that's really important.
Absolutely.
I think, you know, we didn't even get to ask that part, but thinking it the whole time and then you touch on it means it's pretty present. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you,
for the
Amina.
new episode, and we're very happy to have you and learn a lot about you, which I didn't know. And
Absolutely.
makes me understand you even more, so
Thank you, guys.
appreciate that.
Yep.
Bye.
Thanks for joining this episode of XXL's Inside Track. We'll see you next time.
Next time.